So at this point, you should have your word web finished. You may not have your entire conclusion written out. You may not have full solid ideas written out yet, but get your ideas down of your strongest points. Your conclusion should really be your strongest point that you're making, your strongest point of your claim that you're making. Even if it's repeating an earlier claim and just backing up with even more evidence, your conclusion should have your strongest points. It should also be where you're making your call to action. You want to see a change out of people. That's the reason why you get into an argument. You want someone to change something about the way they think. If you're just arguing for the sake of arguing, it's called just having an opinion. And you better be fine with someone else having an opinion. Does that make sense? In an argumentative essay, you want to start with a hook. Do you guys remember what a hook is? Yeah, it's a thing to bring the reader in. It's to draw their attention, okay? So, and that even has it right in here. The first thing that you need to work on today, and I just now realized as I was looking through the stream, it did not post the assignments for you this week. I don't know why. I'll go in and hit submit and make sure that it sends it out again. It still has it a draft for whatever reason. So today, all you have to work on is the introduction. You need one paragraph by the end of today. I'm going to give you the hour to work on it. So you'll have roughly about 20 minutes when I'm done talking here, okay? Or more in reality, if you use your time wisely anyway. In an introduction, it said the introduction needs to have the hook, a description of your argument, which it should state what the argument is. What is our argument?
Can parents go too far?
There you go. Can parents go too far in supporting your children's dreams? What are the two potential sides? What the two potential sides should be? Our two sides are they can either support it too much or not enough. Can I go into more detail to explain my viewpoint on the claim and counterclaim? Yes. Yes. If you have more evidence that you want to use, absolutely. Now, if you use any evidence, you have to do an in-text citation. We will cover that a little bit more in depth tomorrow. Okay? It is as simple as this, though. Make sure you know the author's last name and the page number it came from. Okay? Remember, those were the two things that I said you had to make sure to have, was the page number on your evidence, and then the author's last name comes from your bibliography. Okay? Ring a bell? So your description has to have a hook, something to bring the reader's attention in. Personal stories are great for this. Connections to what you're looking at are great for this. It may not even be your story. Maybe you don't have a great story where parents were supportive or not supportive enough. You can use the story from Finding Everest. You can use Abby Sunderland. You can use some of the examples that they give you about the effect on teen athletes. There's quite a few touching, heartbreaking stories in that, right? You can go and find a positive example from parents supporting their children, right? Maybe it was a bit unhealthy at times as we start to find out more about it, but Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. It's one of my favorite stories about coming almost from nothing, literally from nothing, to becoming a multi-million-dollar, billion-dollar mogul at this point. Okay? Owns an enterprise, runs a brand of his own. His brand is his name. The final sentence should be the thesis statement. The thesis statement is the claim that you are making, or the claims you are making, right? You've made two major claims at this point on your thesis or in your word web. So as you scroll down and you start your rough draft, you can come up with a thesis statement fairly simply. Okay, I'm going to open up my argumentative essay draft that's there. You should have your own example with your name already on it. Okay, so let's think about it this way when we're looking at our thesis statement. Okay, when you look at your thesis statement, it is exactly what you want the reader to know and understand about your claim and your argument. Does anybody want to share their two claims and see if we can't come up with a thesis statement from it?
Wait, I don't know if mine's like right, what I wrote down.
Okay. Do you have two or one?
I have one for they can go too far.
Okay.
I said parents can go too far in supporting their children. Children should be supported, but if they're supported or maybe too much, it can cause laziness or issues with them not reaching their full potential because they're given what they want their whole life.
Okay, so here's the problem though, is that you said children need to be supported?
Well,
what's your claim? Which claim are you making?
They can go too far.
Okay, I would take your claim and divide it into two.
Okay.
You actually have more than one claim there.
Oh.
Okay, so give it to me again, Gracie, because I think you have a good thing here.
Parents can go too far in supporting their children, but children should still be supported. But if they're supported or maybe too much, it can cause laziness or issues with them not reaching their full potential because they are given what they want.
Okay, it is a lot going on in there. It's not bad. I just think you have more going on than just one single point you're making. I think you're making a couple there. Okay, so let's go. Parents can go too far in supporting their children, right? All right, and then what did you say after that?
But children should still be supported. Their children should still be supported.
Okay, their children should still be supported. Okay.
But if they're supported or maybe too much, it can cause laziness or issues with them not reaching their full potential.
But if they are supported
too much,
it can cause laziness and what?
Or issues with them not reaching their full potential.
Okay, so here's a couple things I would do. One, I would not just copy down what I have here because it's not going to benefit you necessarily. This is an argument that Gracie's making. So hopefully her evidence backs this up. Now, what I would do here, what is laziness? How would you define laziness?
Not giving full effort, or not giving full effort even though they can.
Okay. Is that an emotional issue, a behavioral issue? What is that?
All of the above.
It is all of the above. It's a behavioral issue. It's an emotional issue. So what if we simply say can cause, instead of laziness, long-term issues for the child or issues with them not reaching their full potential? Do you now have two separate parts of your claim you can make? Because can you go farther than laziness? What else can it cause if the child is overly supported? Besides for just laziness.
I don't know. I don't know. Physical damage if they're hurt and they're still keep going, pushing them.
Okay, so they could have a physical issue, right? They could actually continue to push because they're overly supported and actually hurt themselves. They can be overly supported and become laziness and not do it on their own because they have a dependency. That's another thing we read about. What else did we read about? What's that?
Depression and anxiety.
Okay, it can cause depression and anxiety because they're depending on their parents to do it for them. And in the meantime, they're trying to be independent and just building up. Does that make sense? Now you can go farther with evidence. So I would take your two claims, and I'll be honest with you, I think what you have here is your thesis statement.
What's that?
Your thesis statement is the main idea that you want your reader to come away with. It is what you're trying to state. So it's both of your claims put together. That is in the introduction.
So
it is the last sentence of your introductory paragraph. Why do I want it to be your last sentence? Sticks with you the most. What did you say? It's wrapping it up. So it's taking this introduction, this big idea to get their attention, and it's wrapping up what you want them to understand. It's the big statement you're making. It's drawing them in even farther. Does that make sense? This, what you have here, Gracie, what you have there, you've got a thesis statement. You don't even know you made one. You have a thesis statement. Okay? I would use that as your last sentence in your introductory paragraph. But right now, for your two claims, I would split that off. I would have one of them be, it can cause long-term issues for the child, right? And that's where you talk about the behavioral and emotional aspect. And the other one is issues with them not reaching their full potential.
So you just want me to put issues with them not reaching their full potential?
Yep. And then I would take the other half of that and put it in your other claim. I think you have both claims.
Okay.
In one. Tanner, I'll take that.
What? That's
Uh-huh.
touched it.
Okay. Let me know next time, and I'll let you just take it out and fix it. Okay. Because if I just see you sliding out of your pocket, it makes me think something else. You get what I'm saying?
So
I'll give you a pass and trust you.
what?
Split that off into two.
Okay, but I don't want to erase it and then forget what I put.
Do you know how to copy and paste?
Yeah, but where would I paste it onto?
Your other claim, because I know you only have one claim so far, right?
Yeah, but where?
You have to have two claim boxes and one counterclaim. That's why you have four. And the fourth box is your conclusion. Does anyone else have a thesis statement they think they might have worked out? It's literally your two claims put together into one sentence.
No.
I figured mine out. I'm just not saying.
What do you got, Levi?
Parents can go to parents supporting their children's dreams by manipulating their children's dreams to do things that they might not like the parents do.
Can go too far in supporting.
I totally want to switch sides so bad, and I need more. Not even
What
like
is yours?
it's that they can't go too far.
Good. Children's dreams. Levi, it's really good. What? Give me the next part.
Or pushing them too hard and causing unneeded stress.
So I got parents can go too far in supporting their children's dreams
By manipulating their children into doing something they might not like as a parent.
Okay, by manipulating their children into doing something they don't want to do,
Or like that they may not like or
they may not like, but their parents want.
yeah.
Okay. And then what was the second part?
And then or by pushing them too hard and causing unneeded stress.
Or, okay, so I'm going to make this a separate sentence. Parents can push too hard and cause permanent damage, you said?
unneeded stress or physical damage.
Unneeded stress or physical damage. And then here's what I'm seeing, and tell me if I'm wrong, Levi. So your first claim, one of your claims is that you think that the parents may be manipulating the child and doing something they may not like, but the parents want. And then your other claim, your other part of your claim is parents can push too hard and cause unneeded stress or physical damage.
Yes.
That's your two boxes. Perfect. And then you put them together. Where does this go in your introductory paragraph? It is your last sentence. Your thesis statement should be the last sentence of your introductory paragraph. Now, I will tell you, you have two sentences here. Sometimes thesis statements have to be two sentences. That's okay, just to make them properly punctuated and set up correctly. Does that make sense? Okay, I'm going to give you guys time to write your introductory paragraphs. Remember, hook, build into the argument itself, and then give your thesis statement as your claim. Yes, ma'am. Your hook can be a question. You can, the best way to do that is if you ask a question, kind of answer it as if they are just going to simply make a statement. The thing you want to dodge is not to say, this is my argument. Do not say, this is my argument.
You can't say like my or I, can you?
Try to dodge my and I. Try to dodge you. Talk about, try, because you don't want to talk about the readers if you know that. You want to talk about it as fact, not as they should believe what you want them to believe. And here's why. In an argument, if I assume you, Gracie, should believe what I think, do you resist me more by me saying you? Right? But if I don't say you and I talk about it as an all-encompassing people, then it sounds like more people are in agreement. Does that make sense? Okay. I'll give you